How's it going, internet? I have some discussion with you, and I have a lot of favors to ask to a lot of people. Um, I've been an English teacher for over 13 years, a musician for over 15 years, 16, and recently I've been tested to be a youth counselor and make $150,000 a year. Wouldn't that be great? But I had to answer 50 questions in 15 minutes, I think. I couldn't pass the 25th question. They're all logics questions, and some of them were related to vocabulary. I could just keep trying, but I'm never gonna make it. What I want to talk about is money. I have a link, a LinkedIn post where I say that when I developed my own course materials, I wasn't trying to be better than anyone. I wasn't trying to say that. I wasn't trying to imply that. I wasn't trying to convince anyone of that. I was trying to show my perspective and hopefully to attract students that would pay a fair price to be studying with me on a course that I made a 24 class, 24-hour model for study, 24-hour class model. That does not imply that you're only gonna spend 24 hours studying or in contact, because I've also prepared complementary materials. I am graduated at the University of São Paulo. That was in 2012, so it's gonna be almost 10 years since I've graduated. I had participation in international meetings, and they are actually called different names because the academia likes Latin. Sorry, but colloquiums, symposiums, these are different types of presentations of scientific research, and mine was focusing on linguistics. And in case anybody thinks I'm lying on my LinkedIn profile, I'm not. I was a researcher with a group that is called a group of semantic and linguistic studies and foreign language, uh, abbreviation in Portuguese is GSDL, with the Faculty of Philosophy, Letters, and Humane Sciences. How we call things around here. Literature and linguistics, basically, in the Facebook world. But I had a big role in a company. That company is called WiseUp. They became a company that got very big. When I learned about them, it was at the time a very famous actor in Brazil was being the face of the marketing of the company. His name is Rodrigo Santoro. Curiously, he was the protagonist of a movie that I haven't watched, but it was the first thing that my therapist recommended me to do. It was a movie about mental health and mental illness, and also institutions that treat mental illness. Um, so of course, I want to mention this to raise awareness. Uh, but the thing that he was advertising was basically speak English to expand your views. I don't remember exactly what line they used. What was the magic thing? But well, if I say magic thing here in Brazil, you're gonna think about something else because there's a competitor called Wizard. They're an English school and they're older. Recently, this was bought by Pearson, the biggest educational company, private education company in the world. And I could just Google search how many branches Wizard has in Brazil, but they are by the thousands. And in an average school that has about 500 students, today he's one of the richest people in the world. This guy, Carlos Martins, Carlos calls himself Carlos Wizard Martins, uh, bought part of the company that I had left at the time. Another deal was being made because they were producing new materials, and they made a deal with a very consolidated editor here in Brazil called Abril. Abril Comunicação from the famous for the Veja magazine. Veja is a word that in Portuguese literally means see in the infinitive, like see this, look at this. It's a very what's the word? Very directive, very intuitional name for a magazine, a news magazine. There's recently I called them moderates, but I think it would be more accurate to describe them as a center-right kind of uh, publication. But what the hell is center-right? No, I'm not here to discuss that. I'm talking about this because after I left and after I failed twice to organize my life and come back to university with the master's, I made this course. It's not that it's the work of my life. It's just that there are other things that I could also call the work of my life, and I'm not getting paid for any of these. That's the point of the video. What I say on Twitter, it's important. I'm not going to say it's not important. I'm not going to say it's not polemic, even though somebody has to prove it to me. Somebody has to prove it. Somebody has to prove to me that my Twitter is some kind of problem. Unless somebody does that, and it's not the government of Brazil because I don't take them seriously, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to believe them. Also, please don't be Russia because I'm going to be a little bit suspicious. But other than that, I mean, Saudi Arabia, I wouldn't want to have a discussion with these people. But of course, every generalization has a problem. So from this statement alone, you can see that I sometimes describe myself as a moderate. I was forced to be described as a moderate because that was the option that they gave me on the app Bumble, which makes the experience of meeting new people better for women. Another point that I'm raising awareness about. I've written a lot of blogs of my classes, and right now, my strategy for bringing awareness to what I'm doing online, not that's very generic, but to what I'm doing in terms of classes, in terms of the work that I put out, that is not only the classes, that's about a lot of other things. I uh, try to push myself. Uh, and I think based on what I've seen, um, and I've been to other companies where things are a little bit different, but so you're not supposed to say I've been to these companies. I've worked with a few companies that for a few companies that uh, have different price ranges, but uh, when I realized that my student was going to pay $270 for 9 classes with me, I thought, well, I should have a top level course. But what you get in these places is not a top level course. What you get for 270 real a month is not a top level course. Absolutely not. Because what you get for 500, 600 a month is not a top level course. You can have top level teachers, but you do not have a top level course. How do I know that? I've seen the material. I was in a big position. So I was responsible for the creation of the material. I was responsible for the research that I did to make sure that this material was fitting to the new needs put into legislation that I have read that want to promote a better awareness in students at an early stage of social participation, of inclusion, of respect, of diversity, of creativity, and civic duty, and collaboration, and all the concepts that are listed in the Brazilian Common Core, but also argumentative skills and ability to interpret data and stuff like that, that you can see, for example, in the American Common Core. I also studied the Common European Framework of Reference, which lists abilities that the speaker of English as a second language must have to be called proficient. And the name of my course is Participatory Fluency. Recently, I put my Twitter handle as Part Fluency. Yeah, because part of that you think is fluency. The other part, as 006 would say, is just luck. Part of everything is luck. The other part is fate, he would say. I was discussing this with my dad today. My dad is a person who has a zillion health problems, who has 5 points of back hernia, and his spine is my grandmother has a similar problem, but my grandmother is now taken care in bed, 91 years old with Alzheimer's, and my dad can't go back to work, but not so recently. He was in college, but that was a long time ago, I think. He lost the government money that he got every month for something that they call a disability. I'm supposed to take my meds I have already. disability, being inept to work, and that is what the doctor said and stated. Uh, but then he had a procedure called I don't know, basically a checkup, and this doctor didn't see any problems despite the X-rays and countless exams. And so this very blessed person brought us to poverty, a doctor. And today I depend on doctors because I have anxiety, I have depression, I have bipolar disorder, I have eating disorder, I have smoking problems, I have problems with alcohol, and I have manias and paranoia and a lot of things that are consequences of the several kinds of medication that these very blessed people gave me. I'm thankful for some of them, for the way that they handled certain situations. Certainly not all. Not all. And why am I making this video? Because this video is about money. My grandma is a person that I have always loved. I was very close to my grandma, to both of my grandmas, because my mom was busy living her life. Trying to find work was part of that. Part-time, she did many things: design, architecture, nursing, even dancing, and she could never provide. My dad did have his means, but my grandpa was still alive. We lost him, had a heart attack in 2011 when I was first discovering what a long distance relationship meant. And that changed me forever. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I know when my grandma passes, I'm gonna be very likely the one who's gonna be responsible for how things go here in this little apartment that we live in, 4 people. And I might not be a person from the countryside or from a poor uh, region in the world where there's food shortage and stuff like that, but we do have a very simple life comparison with the majority, I would like to say, of not the majority, because there are many crowded areas, but some people just, the problem of wealth distribution is something we have to tackle. And of course these people are not going to say that because they're enjoying their lives. And I have 30 cents and I want to smoke. I had a discussion with my dad today because I took $5 from his pocket and he left the door open. So that's why I took the money. I was hungry and I bought a pack of cookies and a club cigarette at the newsstand. $5, 3.50 for the cookies, 1.50 for the club cigarette. Could have bought it back. I didn't. I was hungry. There was food to cook. Could have cooked something. But I just wanted to buy a pack of cookies. It costs 3.50. 3.50. For the first time in my life, I got paid for the third time because I've been paid $50 in two other occasions, but $50. $50 is what I got paid. So I paid to play. All my life I've paid to play, pay for the instruments that I have. Some of them are gifted. Most of them are gifted, except my cymbals that I worked hard to buy myself. And my dad helped me a little bit with that. But I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this situation, and on top of that, my internet history. So the thing I was saying about the companies, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that one of them, that the two of them are listed in the stock exchange of the United States. And that's why I watch financial news so much. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I watch financial news so fucking much. I'm here not because I want to get rich. I'm here because I'm a person who works hard and who works with honesty. Believe it or not, I try to be honest in my relationships. Sometimes it's not easy because I know when people are hiding things from me or not being honest with me. And sometimes my gut feeling tells me something that is not true. And I try, and very often I apologize. And sometimes I have misunderstandings. I'm not the easiest person to consistently live with, live near, and absorb the problems because the energy is not so bad, you know. But lately it's been, and I just, I'm a Brazilian guy that thought that using the internet would make my life easier, but at this point, I think everybody knows every detail of my life. I'm absolutely fucking paranoid. I don't like going out. I've thought about writing, I've thought about music, I've thought about a billion things. I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know whoever loved me. I don't know if people want to hurt me. I don't know if I'm safe. I don't know what happens after you die. I don't know if I'm gonna die. Well, sure, but sometimes it seems a little bit closer than I imagined. And I think about my decisions, and sometimes I think, wait, I didn't fuck up so bad. Get me? So if you're a student, my life is pretty fucked up. I haven't even started talking about my brother, except I have wrote short stories telling a few stories of our lives in a fictional manner, but some parts are true. But all you hear these days is a person's reputation, and in fact, the biggest company in the world works around the idea of reputation to decide your future, making deals, making bets. And I know because I know, but I also know because I read, and I also know because I've researched. So I'm not stupid. I just don't know how to make money. I don't know how to make money. And what I'm asking is to either show me how, or please give me what you can, because it's gonna help. The first plan I have in my head is them to print pamphlets. Pamphlets cost here 80, 90 bucks to print. The last person that I talked to about 1,000 pamphlets for 120 bucks. It's a little bit more expensive than I imagined. But printing pamphlets was one of my ideas, and I hope that works. But we have to think a little bit ahead of that. We have to have stability. Am I gonna just print pamphlets every 6 months or what? Things change. So I thought about Patreon. I thought about Bandcamp. I thought about WordPress. I thought about YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, even Snapchat. I talk to random people and I start telling my story. Last time I did that wasn't so nice. So I'm gonna drop a link, and the reason why I'm posting this on my professional page is because you may have the impression here in Brazil that I'm doing work for rich people. But have you looked at my life? I hope you know me a little bit better now. So these are some of the things that I wish I could have the opportunity of saying in a job interview. I don't think the English speaking skills are a thing you're evaluating right now. So please visit the links and help in any way you can. Would be very much appreciated.